Begin dinner prep at 3 a.m. Mom commanded, giving the guest list to my 16-year-old daughter. And make sure it's flawless now, my sister sneered. She just grinned, replying, absolutely. Yet by 1 a.m., Christmas Day, we were well on our way to the terminal. 40 starving relatives showed up only to find my daughter vanished, kitchen freezing. Imagine waking up to realize your own sister just forged a loan in your name. Then, just days later, your mother tried to turn your teenage daughter into a 3 a.m. Christmas caterer. What would you do? Because for me, that was the moment everything shattered. Hey everyone, I'm Henry. I'm 41, a clinical psychologist, and for most of my life, I've been the designated fixer in my family. Divorced 5 years ago, I'm a full-time dad to Mia. She's 16, and honestly, she's kinder than most adults I counsel. My apartment is quiet, my coffee habit is, well, it's a thing, and I keep a little jar of cash in the pantry labeled Mia's Trip Fund. In our family group chat, I'm Mr. Boundaries. But in real life, I'm the guy who shows up with jumper cables. The one who just knows a guy when the water heater dies. The one who pays the bill before anyone even thinks about reaching for their wallet. It happened slowly, this generosity of mine. Then it was all at once. Soon, it wasn't just expected, it was demanded. Christmas Eve used to be my favorite. Mia and I have our tradition. Dumplings, a bad movie, hot chocolate with way too many marshmallows. But this year, my mother decided we needed to bring back tradition. Translation? I'd haul all the food. My sister Lauren would bring the criticism, and Mom? She'd invite a guest list that multiplied faster than rabbits. I tried to be optimistic. I'd already dropped off trays of ingredients at Mom's place, even tested her oven because it ran cool. I told Mia, it'll be simple. Just family. She just smirked. You say that every year, Dad. At 6 p.m., we walked in, arms full of bags. I swear, the dining room was staged for a wedding. 40 place cards, a glittering family first banner, and 2 sweating coolers of champagne I definitely didn't agree to buy, just sitting there on the counter. Lauren spotted us. She didn't even say hello. She just snapped her fingers at Mia like my daughter was a hired caterer. Aprons are in the drawer. Start cooking at 3 a.m. Guests arrive at noon. Make sure everything's perfect this time. Mia glanced at me. That quiet look she gets. She's 16, but she's nobody's servant. My jaw tightened. Before I could even speak, my mother swept in, handed Mia a printed guest list with highlighted dietary restrictions, and said, you heard your aunt. Start at 3. Do not be late. Last year the food was dry, and people noticed. That last part, people noticed, is Mom's favorite line. It means, obey, or face public shaming later. But Mia? She didn't flinch. She just smiled. That small, calm smile she uses when she's utterly done being polite. Sure, she said. One word. Soft. Deadly. I caught the glint in her eye, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't rush to smooth it over. I just watched. In my world, in therapy, we call this triangulation. Dragging an innocent third person into a 2-person conflict. My mother and sister had just tried it on my daughter. They expected me to fold. But I didn't. Dinner prep turned into a full-on briefing. Mom, standing like a manager. Lauren listing demands. Table linens must be ironed. Gluten-free section labeled. Oh, and we don't need help with money this year if Henry behaves. And Henry, no cheap, quirky books this time. People want cash. Mia squeezed my wrist. I said, we'll see you tomorrow. Mom's smile thinned. No, you'll sleep here. You need to be in the kitchen by 3. I just said, I have my own kitchen. She shot back. People noticed last year, as if that were some kind of law. We left, coats half on. As I opened the door, Mom's voice, sickly sweet and sing-songy, drifted after us. Don't make this about you, Henry. It's Christmas. The elevator doors closed. Mia leaned her head on my shoulder. Do we have to? She whispered. I stared at our reflection in the stainless steel. 2 tired people, who'd spent years being good sports. That crisp, complaining tone of Lauren's already echoing in my head, like every sentence was a receipt I owed. No, I said. We don't. I became the responsible one after my dad left when I was 12. It was easier to be praised for fixing things than criticized for having needs. Mom turned survival into theater. Lauren learned to perform in the spotlight. I learned to build the stage, pay for the lights, and clap on cue. Every yes I gave, it stitched another thread between my wallet and their expectations. That thread became a rope. The rope became a leash. When I started private practice, the leash tightened even more. You're a doctor now, Mom would say loudly at parties. We're so proud. She'd hit the word doctor hard, not because she cared about the title, but because it meant something in her secret currency. Henry can afford it. Lauren perfected the art of the ask. She never said, can you help? She said, transfer $400 tonight. Rent is due. If I hesitated, she'd toss in, Mom's blood pressure is up. Don't stress her. I'd send the money, telling myself it was temporary. That one day, the family would stabilize, and I could go back to being just a son and a brother, not a sponsor. Mia was born when I was 25. Her mother and I didn't make it, but we made peace. Co-parenting taught me that love is logistics. Pickups, drop-offs, field trips, the right color jersey on game day. When Mia was 11, her mom moved overseas. Mia chose to stay with me. I chose everything else around her. That's when Mom and Lauren shifted their angle. They stopped pretending their demands were about them and started saying they were for Mia. A bigger Christmas means memories for the child. Family vacations help children feel secure. We need a nicer venue. Mia is at the age where impressions matter. Every ask arrived with a moral bow on top. If I said no, I wasn't just cheap. I was a bad father. 2 summers ago, I paid off the last of Mom's credit card debt. 5 cards, interest chewing through her paycheck like moths through curtains. I set up a budget, made a spreadsheet, printed a cute pie chart for her fridge. She laughed and said, "You're so organized," and then applied for a store card for the points. A month later, she texted, "Balance is high again. We'll fix it together." Lauren's emergencies came in waves. A car repair mysteriously matching the price of concert tickets she'd posted on Instagram. A job delay that always coincided with a vacation. The infamous bridal shower deposit that, if you listened to her, I'd promised to cover in exchange for peace. I had never said that word. She did. Often. By last Christmas, the pattern had hardened. Mom curated, Lauren commanded, Henry funded. The extended family played along, because there were always favors to collect. A rent extension here, a borrowed power washer there, a tuition payment for a cousin's summer class because Henry believes in education. Every time I tried to enforce a boundary, Lauren labeled it therapy talk and rolled her eyes. When I told them I had set aside money for Mia's trip fund, a real jar of cash, deliberately analog, so we could count progress together. Mom smiled and said it was sweet, then asked if she could borrow from it, just until the check clears. I said no. She didn't ask again, but later I found the jar moved 2 inches on the shelf, and $20 lighter. I don't believe in ghosts. The week before this Christmas, the group chat started heating up. Mom posted the menu like a wedding planner. Lauren posted a spreadsheet of roles like she was hiring staff. Henry, buy all groceries. Prep, cook, pay tip for delivery. Mia, cookies, macarons, plating, table decor. Everyone else, arrive, enjoy, bring good vibes. I sent one message. We'll contribute what we can, but Mia isn't kitchen staff. Lauren replied instantly, stop making drama. It's one morning. She needs to learn to serve her family. Mom added, people noticed last year when dessert was late. I put the phone face down. Mia watched me read and asked, we're not doing that, right? I said, we're not. Then, because years of habit are stubborn, I added, but let's try to keep the peace. Keeping the peace turned into Lauren texting Mia directly for clarifications. It turned into Mom sending me screenshots of the guest list with notes like, Cousin Nick is keto now. Adjust. It turned into a request for me to front the caterer for backup trays, even though those backup trays were the entire meal. The smallest fracture, what clinicians call a micro-rupture, happened 3 days before Christmas. I stopped by Mom's to drop off a roasting pan. Lauren was at the table with a stack of envelopes and a glass of wine. When she went to the bathroom, a document sat on top of the pile. It was a contract for a home renovation loan. In my name. My full name. My old address. A signature that looked like mine if you squinted and didn't really know me. I put it down carefully. My hands shook. When she came back, I asked, what is this? She smiled, too quickly. Relax. It's just a quote. You're so jumpy. I said, it's an application. She shrugged. You weren't supposed to see that yet. Mom called from the kitchen, cheerful in that brittle way. Henry, don't ruin the mood. Ruin the mood? I took a photo, emailed it to myself. Then I left the pan and walked out. I told myself I would address it after the holiday. That confronting them would create a scene. That scenes were bad for Mia. I coached people all day about courage and clarity. And then I went home and made excuses for my own fear. So, when Lauren handed my kid a guest list and told her to cook at 3 a.m., it wasn't about food. It was about ownership. About who belonged to whom. And I decided, right then, I chose. Not them. At 1 a.m. on Christmas morning, Mia and I were at the airport. 2 backpacks, 1 small suitcase. The terminal was quiet, the floors gleaming like they'd been polished just for us. Our tickets buzzed green at the gate. My phone. It was a death rattle. Pings from the family chat, lining up like hailstones. Lauren, where are you? Answer now. If you're trying to make a point, it's not funny. Mom, you're embarrassing me. I didn't answer. I printed our boarding passes, like paper could shield me from their words. At 12:59 a.m., Mom called. Then called again. Then FaceTime. I let the third one ring through and picked up. Her face filled the screen. That tight smile, the one she uses when she's about to scold like a teacher. Henry, get back right now. We have 40 guests. People will notice. Behind her, Lauren leaned into frame, already furious. This isn't about you, she snapped. Stop weaponizing your daughter. I held the phone steady. We're not coming. Mom laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. Don't be ridiculous. This is Christmas. You two will sleep here. I've already arranged everything. I didn't agree to that, I said. Mia didn't either. Lauren made a scoffing sound. Oh my God, the therapy voice. Say the boundary thing, Henry. Go ahead. My voice was flat. Here's the boundary. We don't cook for 40 people at 3 a.m. We don't sign loans we didn't apply for. And you don't text my kid like she's your assistant. Mom blinked. Loan. I held the camera steady on my face. Don't insult me. Lauren went still for half a second. Then she laughed, too. But there was a flicker in her eyes. You're overreacting. It's exploratory. You're so dramatic. I took a photo of it, I said. I also called the bank. If any hard inquiry hits my credit, I'll file a report and send them the screenshot. Mom's voice softened, the way it does when she's about to make something my fault. Henry, sweetheart, you know your sister's been under stress. She's trying to improve the house for all of us. You have a good income. This is what family does. No, I said. Simple. Clean. Lauren snapped. So, you'd let your mother host a disaster and humiliate herself? I looked straight at her. She's not hosting a disaster. She's hosting a party without us. The gate agent announced pre-boarding. Mia zipped her backpack and looked at me. I put the call on speaker so I didn't have to see their faces. Lauren's tone turned mocking. Where are you even going? Running away with your emotional support child. How old are you? Old enough, I said, to know better than to raise her in a system that eats girls alive. Mom hissed. Do not accuse me of harming my granddaughter. Then stop harming her, I said. Stop volunteering her labor. Stop using my money to audition for best host. Silence. The good kind. The honest kind. Lauren broke it first. If you think you're cutting us off, you're delusional. I lifted a folder into view of the camera. Printouts, bank statements with highlighted transfers, Venmo screenshots, the text thread where Lauren told Mia to wake up at 2:45 because ovens take time. The photo of the loan application. The guest list annotated like a battle plan. If you push, I said, calm as a measured dose. I will send this to every adult on that list. They can decide who's delusional. Mom whispered. You wouldn't. You have 40 minutes before your first guest arrives, I said. Use them well. Lauren pivoted to the old playbook. You're heartless. After everything we've done for you. I almost laughed. What exactly have you done for me? You were a difficult child, Mom said automatically. I was a child, I corrected. People will notice, she repeated, softer now, like a prayer. Good, I said. Let them. Then I hung up. My hand shook, but my voice hadn't. Mia slid her hand into mine. Proud of you, she said quietly. On the plane, as the cabin lights dimmed, I drafted one final message. Not to the family chat. To myself. A note that read, you don't owe anyone your daughter's sleep, your credit score, or your peace. I hit save. Then I slept, truly slept, for the first time in weeks. We landed in Denver at dawn. Mia wanted snow and waffles and a hotel pool that looked like a greenhouse. I rented the cheapest car with heated seats and let her pick the music. We ate waffles with our coats still on and watched the sun make the ice glitter. By 8 a.m., my phone had become a siren. Missed calls stacked like poker chips. Voicemails transcribed into tidy little paragraphs of rage. Mom, I cannot believe you humiliated me. Lauren, hope your little trip was worth ruining Christmas. Aunt Joanna, your mother is crying. Fix this. Cousin Nick. Bro, we showed up to nothing. Not cool. I put the phone on Do Not Disturb and taught Mia how to parallel park with snowbanks as bumpers. We bought thrift store jackets for half price and tried on ridiculous hats. We swam in the greenhouse pool and pretended the glass roof was a spaceship leaving Earth. At noon, I broke my own rule and checked the family chat. Photos had started rolling in mid-morning. The empty buffet table. My note taped to the oven door. A selfie of Lauren with a martyr's expression and the caption, some people are selfish. Then, mercifully, another stream. This time from relatives I hadn't expected. Cousin Leia. Wait, why was a teenager supposed to cook for 40? Uncle Dan. You told us Henry insisted on hosting. Aunt May. I brought a casserole because I had a feeling someone posted a screenshot of Lauren's roll spreadsheet. Someone else posted a snippet from my mother's text where she'd said, Henry will cover expenses. He owes us after last year. The thread tilted. I watched in real time as the story unraveled. Then Amelia, the one cousin who always sees everything, direct messaged me. Do you want me to send you the video? I replied, sure. It was a 30-second clip of Lauren in the kitchen, waving my note like a flag. He thinks he's teaching us a lesson, she ranted. Well, lesson received. Never trust a man who reads therapy books. Off camera, someone asked where the food was. Lauren said, Henry was going to pay the caterer. He said he'd cover it. Amelia whispered from behind her phone. Lie. I didn't post the clip. I saved it. I didn't need a bonfire. The sparks were already drifting. By evening, the DMs turned. Aunt Joanna again, softer. I didn't know they asked Mia to cook. That's not okay. Uncle Dan. If Lauren forged anything, that's a crime. Even Cousin Nick sent. I shouldn't have called you. I was mad. Sorry. I answered no one. Not yet. Instead, I opened my laptop at the hotel desk and did what I should have done months ago. I froze the credit monitoring on my accounts. Set up alerts for any hard inquiry. Removed Lauren from the spare key list at Mom's building. A lie I told the property manager once, and now corrected for contractor access. I canceled the auto pay that covered Mom's orphan store card. Then I wrote an email to Mom and Lauren. No chat, no emojis, no oxygen for the drama. Subject, financial boundaries effective immediately. Body, I will not be paying for events I do not plan. I will not be responsible for any debt that is not mine. Any application in my name will be met with a report to the bank and to the police if necessary. Mia is not to be asked directly for labor, favors, errands, or roles by any adult without my consent. If money is requested from me, it will be declined. If a need is legitimate, medical, safety, it must be documented, and we will discuss it with a mediator present. Do not contact Mia directly for family logistics. Future holidays will be on our terms. It was the driest email I've ever written. It was also the kindest thing I could do for both of us. Clarity is kindness. Chaos is cruelty dressed as spontaneity. They didn't reply. They called 20 times. Mia watched cartoons and ate a second waffle. I let the calls die. On day 2, the first consequence arrived. Mom's neighbor texted me. Your sister's car got towed. She's blaming you for ruining Christmas and making the block angry. FYI. Another text. Your mom asked me to front her cash for the caterer she booked, just in case, and never canceled. I said no. When we got back home, Denver snow still in our hair, we found a letter from the bank. We detected an attempted credit application in your name and blocked it. If this was you, call us. It wasn't me. I reported the fraud and sent the file number to Lauren with one line. Do not do this again. She responded with a wall of text. It began with, you're dramatic. Moved quickly to, you owe Mom. And ended with, you just killed our family. I wrote back, families don't die when boundaries show up. They heal or they break apart. Either way, it's honest. In practice, January is always heavy. Resolutions meet reality. This year, I sat across from clients and for once felt like I wasn't a hypocrite when I said, you teach people how to treat you. I told a teenager to stop reading her mother's mood like a weather report. I told a father that love doesn't require swallowing your voice. I drove home and told myself the same things out loud, like a prayer. Mom tried a new tactic. Sympathy. I'm older now, she texted. I can't do everything. I need you. I replied, I will help you make a budget and find a community center with free classes. I won't fund parties. I won't sign loans. I won't let you use Mia. She wrote, people noticed your absence. I said good. A week later, something shifted. Aunt May invited Mia and me over for chili on a Sunday. No fuss, she said. Just food. There were 4 people there. No spreadsheets, no speeches. No one asked Mia to set a single table. We ate. We laughed. And when I got up to load the dishwasher out of habit, Aunt May pushed me gently back into my chair. Sit, she said. We are not those people. After that, invites trickled in from strange corners. A cousin's kid had a basketball game. Did Mia want to come? A neighbor's potluck with store-bought pies and no guilt. It was like the family system had cracked and light slipped through. Some of them stepped toward it. Some didn't. Lauren didn't. She doubled down. When Mom tried to defend her, Lauren used the oldest trick, divide and conquer. She told Mom I was stealing her grandson. I don't have a son. She told the cousins I'd threatened legal action. I did, against identity fraud. She told anyone who would listen that Mia had turned cold. She had, to people who treated her like staff. In March, Mom called to tell me Lauren was struggling. Rent late, car impounded, the renovation on hold. I'm sorry, I said. I meant it. Then I said, I can recommend a financial counselor. Mom sighed and said, you used to be generous. I said, I used to be afraid. By spring, the jar in our pantry was full. Mia counted the bills and grinned. We did it. It was only a weekend trip to the coast. Nothing fancy. But it was ours. Bought with money that hadn't been siphoned into a hole labeled Family First. In June, I got a card in the mail from Amelia. Proud of you. It said inside in her messy print. You did the thing most of us are too scared to do. There was a photo tucked behind it. Lauren at Christmas, standing in front of an empty table. She looked small. Not victorious, not righteous. Just small. I tucked the photo into a drawer. Not to gloat. To remember why we left. I used to think being a good son meant absorbing impact. I thought love was measured in how quietly I carried weight. I confused compliance with care. That's the story I was handed. I practiced it until I could perform it without thinking. It took my daughter's calm, sure eyes to wake me up. It took a guest list taped to a teenager's hand to show me what I was rehearsing her to accept. Once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. People ask what changed after Christmas. The short answer is, everything and nothing. I still have a mother and a sister. I still love them. I still hope they'll choose help over havoc. But I don't stand between them and the consequences of their choices anymore. I don't explain myself to people who benefit from my confusion. I don't apologize for feeding my kid instead of feeding a system. The longer answer is this: my life got simpler. Smaller, in the best way. Fewer tables, warmer ones. Fewer obligations, more invitations. Money stayed where I put it. Sleep returned. Laughter did too. I stopped narrating my boundaries and started living them. That's the part no one tells you. After the loudness, there's quiet. And it's not empty. It's peace. Mom still says, people noticed. She means it as an indictment. I hear it as a blessing. Let people notice. Let them notice I chose my daughter over their performance. Let them notice I stopped financing my own resentment. Let them notice I learned to say no without a dissertation. If there's a moral, it's boring, hard, and true. You are not an ATM, a caterer, or a reputation shield just because you share a last name. You don't owe access to your sleep, your savings, or your child. Love with open hands, not open veins. Mia asked me the other day if we're doing family Christmas this year. I said absolutely. 2 bowls. Too many marshmallows. She grinned. Window seat again. Always, I said. I don't know if Mom and Lauren will ever truly understand. But I do know I won't hand them the pen to write our part of the story. My job is simple now. Tell the truth, hold the line, and raise a girl who hears a command at 3 a.m. and knows she never has to obey it. People will notice. Good. Have you ever found yourself stuck playing a role in your family you didn't sign up for? What did it take for you to finally draw your line? Tell me your story in the comments below. I really want to hear what you think.